Okay, let's take a look at another one. This is a medicinal plant that comes from China. It's called mugwort. And let's see, here's the marker. Also 2 words, mug and wort. Mug is a cup with a handle. Wort, W-O-R-T, is an old word for plant, an Old English word for plant. So the British used to put this in their mug of tea, of beer, as a seasoning. It has what's called a deeply cut leaf. It looks like someone snipped little pieces out of the leaf. And again, this one is whitish underneath. Very fragrant. If you have hay fever, you stay away from this. It's related to ragweed. But for the rest of you, we can pass it around. You can squeeze it and smell it. Now, this has been used for thousands of years in traditional Chinese medicine as an emmenagogue. It will relieve or prevent menstrual problems. So you drink this, make a big pot of tea and drink 2 or 3 cups a day starting a week before your period. You will not get, or you have a much less chance of getting PMS symptoms or cramps. Actually, I can personally attest this definitely does work. Ever since I've learned this plant, I've never had a cramp. Now, there is, yes?
Isn't this very invasive? Aren't they trying to get rid of
Yeah,
it?
all of these things are invasive and people are trying to get rid of it. Yes, this is a Chinese plant, doesn't belong here. It grows in fields and it prevents other plants from growing. So the field never goes from field to thicket to bushes to forest because the mugwort keeps the other plants out. One caution with this plant though, it can affect your memory. And here's what happened to an unfortunate little girl who encountered this plant. She lived in Russia and her mom sent her into the woods with a basket to look for mushrooms. But as she was walking through the woods on the trail, she suddenly saw this huge snake in her path, and she said, "Ah!" and ran off as fast as she could. However, she didn't look where she was going, and two seconds later, she fell into a really, really deep hole. Fortunately, she wasn't hurt, but the walls were too steep for her to get out, and when she looked around, all the other snakes had come into that hole to hibernate, to spend the winter. And some of them were still hungry, and they started coming after her. Just at the last second, the largest snake, who turned out to be the queen of the snakes, told the other snakes, "Hey, let's cool it. This is a nice little kid. She hasn't done us any harm. If you're hungry, there's a magic glowing red stone on the bottom of the cave. You just need to lick the red stone." Must have been near Chernobyl. Lick the red stone, and you won't be hungry anymore. So the snakes did that. They didn't have to devour the little girl. The little girl did the same thing when she was hungry and didn't need food either. And the snakes and the little girl spent the whole winter in this cave, cozy and warm, and they became the best of friends. However, when spring came, the snakes wove themselves into a ladder so that the little girl could climb back out and go back to her family. And before they parted company, the queen snake told her, "I'm going to give you a gift. From now on, you're going to know all of the medicinal uses of every single plant as long as you don't say the word mugwort." So the little girl went home. Every time someone was sick, she knew how to treat them. And she became famous until years later, a young man came riding on horseback. And he said, "Young lady, you're well known on the other side of Russia, where I come from. I've traveled for days. Could you please tell me, what is this common invasive plant that grows on every roadside, in every field throughout the land?" And she said, "Oh, that's mugwort." And boom, she forgot everything she knew about plants. She had to immigrate to the United States, attend all of my tours for a year, and buy all of my books to regain her knowledge. And that's the story of the little girl and the mugwort.